field, and we've just got to jostle. There's a couple of change round there. We've got, what I think, 9 starters for that. If somebody's gone right back there, is that Factor 125 that's realised he's in the wrong place? Yes, I think it is. I think it's a 125 that's come right up, and they've realised, no, they're not supposed to be there, and I've now got a back pedal. Luckily, it's a lightweight little bike, and they've got a back pedal there, probably about 30, 40 odd metres, and get it back into its rightful place. So come up a little bit too early. So there we go. And notice the clear break between it. So we'll start this group first, then we'll start the 125, 250. So don't get too excited if you haven't seen your riders called off the line. There's our first group. All the lights go off and we go racing. In fact, no, there's the second group. Sorry, it didn't get away first. So they have got away with the group that was that size, and we'll get between them. That was the separation as our Honda CRV gets away, the medical vehicle to follow on, and there's been 2 incidents today. We're on that first lap. There's been some drama, and the medical vehicle luckily right there to ensure the safety and welfare of our rider, courtesy of Access Man, the Access Equipment Hire Company, with 3 locations here in Christchurch Ferry Road, Ally Street, and Wairaki Road as well. You'll find them with all your requirements. Access Man, making height access easy on 0800 to get high. That's accessman.co.nz, and away we go, Brad.
Yeah, awesome start from the 19, Richard Barrett off the second row, and he's in front. I'm not sure what bike he's on. He's got a couple of different super light bikes. He's got a nice Kramer and also a KTM Duke with a nice frame in as well. So 19 of the iTools Aussie Performance Speed Junkie Racing Man, Richard Barrett, heads into the Christchurch Casino Carousel. But that's the 15, the Bright Orange Mega Motorcycle Centre's Wobbly 400. Started as an RZ 350 back in 1982, but now it's anything but that. And Dennis Charlotte had a shocker. Didn't manage to do a qualifying time, so spent a lot of time getting the Wobbly 400, as he calls it, with the awesome handmade wobbly exhaust and trick bits on it. But awesome to see Dennis Charlotte in second place. This is the one title he hasn't won, so he'll be hunting for this one. With you can see the green awesome Kramer there in third place on Jacob Stroud, with the Team Honda Cars and Team Lizard Racing supported Kramer, which was the star of the show at the recent Suzuki Series. Unfortunately, he had a crash at Cemetery Circuit, which meant second in the title, but awesome to see the class of Jacob Stroud.
Clear to watch as we go racing at the moment, and looking out for our updates and all on there at the moment. Chris Huddlestone, we've got my name in there, along with Dennis Charlotte, looking to Jacob Stroud. We take on Johnny Lewis. Unusual to see Johnny there. He got a fantastic start. He'd looking to be the number 1. He was great through practice qualifier. A little bit of work to do. And remember, of course, let's go down through that program, because we have to look out for the 125s, the first of those. Jason Hearn at the moment over Daniel Jenkins. Go back to Yanni Shaw from Australia. Look for Christopher Malcolm in there, along with Campbell Grayling. Good work from young Campbell. He's a hot shot, and he's like Jason Hearn, part of our IM 250 development and riding courtesy of the great team at Biggles Racing and those high-vis bikes. Now, yesterday, the update from Marcus, he's a really positive guy on Facebook, but his update was almost I had a tear in my eye thinking, you've done all that work, Marcus, and it looks like neither of the bikes were going to make it to the racetrack. Well, I don't think there was a lot of sleep in that pit last night, and they've done an amazing job to get those 2 bikes back out on the track here today. So it might not be for the success of a super qualifying, but it's certainly showing with some good results on the racetrack. So mixing it up in there, Brad, our 2 classes with our super lights and our 125s, and check that out at the moment. Chris Huddleston, the man making it happen.
Yeah, awesome stuff to see Chris get out in the front, and he's definitely trying to stretch out a little advantage, so awesome to see. And although the big split start, there's not a hell of a lot of difference. These 250 monos and the 125 GP boys are definitely hanging with some of these super light boys. We'll have a look. 68, that is Chris Huddleston. Over the Wobbly 400 in second place. Jacob Stroud in third. There's early race leader Richard Barrett back in fourth, with Johnny Lewis in fifth as well. So that's going to be an awesome little 5-way super light battle to keep an eye on. Not much in the top 5 and 6 at the moment. And then Jason Hearn, first of the 125 GP 250 mono. He is on the IMD 250 with Daniel Jenkins. We've already seen him in action in the Super Sport 150 class. Comes out and shows his class on the 125 as well. So Manscaped Honda RS 125. So awesome to see the 250 and the 125 both competitive and going for glory in this super light and 125 GP combined.
All right, so Chris Huddleston's on one of these special bikes, effectively an XR6, a Yamaha, take one cylinder out, turn it into a 450, the way they can balance the engine and compensate for the lost piston. But it still, of course, it then gives you the dynamics, the engineering, the braking, where you've got twin discs on the front as standard. You've got all of that excellence of quality suspension. Just because you've got a far lesser powered engine in it doesn't mean to say the bike is any less, because you can still use the brilliance of the bike. So it takes far less to make a bike like that. You've only got to have an excellent engineer, and we've seen different ways that it's been done of missing that piston, but still making the bike balanced and firing on all three, as they say. So there we have it, our three-cylinder, X4-cylinder bike. So Chris Huddleston in front there, looking to Dennis Charlotte in the wobbly. Yes, indeed, started its life as that RZ 350 back in 1982, so it's certainly been turned into something as we look out for the bike. And because they've all started together, look for the monos and look for our 125s in amongst them.
Awesome to see that. Chris Huddleston, he's definitely fine in the 138, 140, so massive to see them. And then see Johnny Lewis and Chris Fiore there having a good battle for 4th and 5th in the Superlight class. And then the IMD guy just overtaken by, I think, another 4-stroke. So we'll have to have a look at that 125 GP action. And it looks like Yanni Shaw might have just snuck around the outside and taken the 125 GP lead, taking it into Flexi class.
Well, Yanni Shaw riding the Kalex KTM 250, courtesy of D6M, that is 66 or 66 Motorsport. D6M is their brand name, inspiring champions, courtesy of MotorX, Dr. B, Lucas, Relish Creative, along with Select Fresh Providors, also to Andrews Meat Industry, Shark Leathers, Tick Signs, Yields Kitchen, Sutherland and Aero Helmets. So Yanni, some great supporters on board, and nice to have our Aussies with us. Man, we love Aussies over here. They've certainly added something to our racing from years gone by. We've got a lot of friends, the likes of Robbie Bugden. He's proved to be a huge hit here in New Zealand with his many years, including coming to steal a TT at Hampton Downs in March last year, so love to see him back. But of course now motorsport manager for Dunlop, doing an awesome job and super well respected over there in Oz, of course, a former Australian Superbike champion, just one of our favourite Aussies. And hopefully these guys will come back for a number of trips, and hope they're learning so much and enjoying this place called Ruapuna, renamed under the branding of Mike Pero Motorsport Park. Go with them, Brad.
Having a look at out of the rock sweeper. Definitely Dennis Charlotte's right on the back of Chris Huddleston now, so this is going to be an awesome fight to watch. That we'll put some 2-stroke 400 power down the front straight, reels it in against him. So Dennis Charlotte will take the lead into Flexipass. We'll have a look and see if that 450 machine's got the better brakes around the outside. I think it might have, so we'll have to wait and see. They come around left-hander out of Flexipass. There's nothing in it, but I think it is Chris Huddleston that's taking the advantage back. They head down the Little Molly straight and they see into Icon. Dennis Charlotte definitely a bright orange bike we can pick up in second place. Head out of Icon and he goes around the outside. So definitely got some horsepower there, but the brakes of that R6 that's been made into a Superlight bike definitely got the superior advantage into the left-hander. So what an awesome battle we're watching. And then the best seat in the house for Jacob Stroud on the Kramer in third.
So remembering, just because we're watching these guys out in the front, they were at the front of the grid after all, so they have got the advantage to go better, but not too far back then to our 125 GP and 250 mono. Although it is two different technologies, it's still actually one class, so there won't be a separation by the fact that we got the first 125 bike home or the first 250 GP. It's then combined to have what we still call our 125 class in New Zealand. Been saved literally by our 250 monos with the 125s, unfortunately fading as far as numbers are concerned on racetracks in New Zealand, and of course as they are right around the world. But here we are, back to the excitement and back to the wobbly. Yes indeed, the wobbly. Well, it's been a little wobbly and hasn't necessarily had the best of development, and all of a sudden it's got to start to perform, because that bike is one hot act to follow, and man oh man, if he can only keep it together. Look at this, here we go, the famous Dennis Charlotte. We've seen him with these two classes. He's not yet become a New Zealand champion in one of them sidecars, and he's won that race today. And there he is, he's just overtaken, and he's got the slipstream advantage, and now he heads out in front. So great work on there for Dennis. Finally, I think he might have made it stick that time, Brad. Oh no, in saying that is the, have we seen the change go back around the outside?
Chris Huddleston knew that Dennis was going to go in defensive, held the power a little bit longer on the outside, and just awesome stuff. So Chris Huddleston, after all that, it was halfway down the front straight, he'd given the lead over, and now all of a sudden into Icon, he's back in there as well. So Superlight Racing, we love it because of the diversity and all the different bikes that are out there, and awesome to watch this battle for the lead.
All right, the 125s, let's go with them at the moment. They're back in 7th place, so we have Yanni Shaw in there ahead of Jason Hearns. That's Australia over New Zealand. Daniel Jenkins in there as well, so that's a very good top 3 for those guys. Remembering the tight group of them together, dominated by those 250 monos, so that's a 1, 2, 3 further back in that lineup. We go in 4th place to Chris Malcolm, looking to Campbell Grayling in there along with Logan Rowell, then go to Taryn Ocean, go to Aaron Lambourne in there as well. Now Aaron, I think from memory he will be a 125, so keen to look out for that. Yes, it is the Honda RS 125 for Team Aspire, Total Access, Watertight Construction, National Personnel, Will Sport, along with SPJ Art Design, Wiz, Boyd's Motorcycle, Hamilton Motorcycle Club, and Boyd's Power Sport. White's Power Sport. So there you go, Aaron Lambourne. Good on you, Aaron, on the little RS 125. So that might, I think, be the first of the 125 two-strokes in that field. But as we say, it's all part of one. Access Man, your Access Equipment Hire Specialist. Proud to give you racing and Brad. You'll still be looking out for that battle. Can the Wobbly come from behind again?
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's a lot deeper under brakes. There's a lap rider to contend with, but not quite this time. So only 2 laps to go. So where's Dennis Charlotte going to do and make it stiff? He's definitely got the horsepower down the straight. Where can he get in and get better than Chris Huddleston? On the brakes, Jacob Stroud, he's run a good race in 3rd place, neat and tidy there. With Chris Fury and Richard Markenberry, they're still having a good fight, 4th and 5th with Johnny Lewis, the Johnny Lewis Builders 6th place man at the moment. So super light action really hot as they head out of the left-hander and into the infield.
All right, keen to watch that battle as well. And just when you thought that a lap and a half ago that Dennis had put his bike in front and for at least a distance of about 300 metres, he kept it in front right at the end of the front straight. We saw that man, Chris Huddleston, regain the lead. And since then, he's actually probably pulled out the biggest margin he's maintained since the beginning of the race. So he got a bit of a scare and he's fought right back in there as we look out for Dennis Charlotte. Remembering, of course, this is Chris's home track. It might be Dennis's as well, but Dennis has more experience across all the other tracks in New Zealand. And I bet you that comes to play as well. So just because we're seeing this kind of advantage at the moment doesn't mean to say it will stay that way through the other circuits. But more importantly, Chris would love a New Zealand GP title, and that's on the line in the second round of racing here tomorrow. After a serious incident in our 600 class today, New Zealand time, we are just gone 6 p.m. So for those of you watching around the world, we certainly have had a very late day here, but a deserving day under beautiful temperatures of probably 30 degrees air temperature. Track temperature out there has got to be scorching at 50 plus, one would suggest. So some magnificent racing, but still with that, the pace has been on, the action's been on, and some riders have been down with a few little incidents as well. So back to it in our final stages, and the white flag out to Brad.
Yeah, awesome stuff, just to see the battle for 3rd and 4th there going over the line, but I want to keep an eye on this. And just an update, lap time wise, it's a 1:37.384, fastest ever race by Chris Huddleston, and that is only 0.4, about 4/10 of a second off the lap record set by Nathaniel Diprose here last year. So while they've been dicing, they've also been, 0.4 of a second off lap record pace while they've been going in defensive and swapping and changing for the lead. So that just shows you how fast these two are. Nathaniel Diprose, he won just about every race he touched last year on one of these 450s. So his pace is very hot, and we're in for a hell of a season with the Superlight boys, I think.
All right, nice to see quite different motorcycles out there as well. Remembering, of course, we're talking about that point of difference between the fact that we have the singles or the twins or the multis and the 2-strokes and the 4-strokes, and we've got the 600 sleeve down to the 450, one piston missing on them. They proved to be a popular concept of superlight racing here in New Zealand, and keen to watch it grow. And here we are now, of course, with our F3 or superlights as we called it, and watching out for the battle. Oh, there we go. Wow, that was a dice for sure as they whipped down through on the inside. Mega Motorcycles and Superlight Racing. And Chris Huddleston, he's on that Yamaha 450, and with Dennis Charlotte on the Wobbly 400, started its life as a 1982 RZ350 Yamaha, and it looks nothing like that now.
Here we go, checkered flag out, and Chris Huddleston takes it easily. Dennis Charlotte just rolled off a little bit in the infield, but the battle for 3rd heating up with the Kramer and Chris Fury on there, and it looks like it might be the Kramer holding on, and it will be the 70 of Jacob Stroud holding on. Chris Fury chasing right to the end, so that was a battle we didn't quite keep up with. awesome stuff. Richard Mark and Barrett in 5th, and Johnny Lewis and Johnny Lewis Builders in 6th place.
Yeah, Jason done it. Jason done it. I was about to give you an update. That's how close they were now. Let's look at that margin. What had happened there is with a lap and a bit to go, we saw the lead change, and Yanni Shaw, the visiting Australian, had the domination in our 125/250 mono class, and then we saw the Kiwi boy, the number 11, get through there. How exciting was that for Team IM 250 and the awesome Biggles Racing? So well done to Jason. So Jason getting that victory, and we're just trying to work out the time difference in there, which was not able to see the the gaps there. The gap
0.052.
0.0, yeah, 0.5, 0.05. There it is, fantastic, 0.05. 5 100ths of a second, not 5/10ths of a second, but 5 100ths of a second, so super tight in there, so well done. So that's our 125 class to look out for in there. So we see Jason Hearn, number 11, taking on letter S, Yanni Shaw, back to 16, Daniel Jenkins, ahead of 22, Christopher Malcolm from the 5 of Campbell Grayling. So they're